For 9 years, the Los Angeles Clippers operated under the safety net that was provided by the talents of Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. Through the organizational upheaval that was the Donald Sterling saga, to the crushing playoff defeats at the hands of the Golden State Warriors, the other Lob franchise had, for the first time in its moribund history, 2 franchise cornerstones capable of serving as shock absorbers through events that in the past would have caused them to crater. But despite the death of Lob City with Paul's departure to Houston and Griffin's subsequent trade to the Pistons, the Clippers have managed to put together enough young talent with a coherent organizational structure to allow an outside observer to look upon the 2018 iteration of the team and conclude what once seemed impossible: the Clippers might be an actual functioning NBA franchise. Despite 6 consecutive playoff appearances and the relevancy that came along with it, not to be confused with the infamy of several postseason collapses, the Clips were, as reported by multiple media outlets, never a well-run organization. From the aforementioned ownership ordeal to the presidency of Doc Rivers, whose principles on roster construction oscillated between nepotism and attempting to recreate the 2008 Celtics, who still haven't lost a playoff series when fully healthy. And it seemed as though Law's success was based more into lucking into the former point guard and Griffin's arrival in the draft than it was a Daryl Morey-type build-up. Steve Ballmer's restructuring of the front office, however, would precipitate not only Paul and Griffin's respective departures, but the way the team would seek to acquire and develop talent. Stripping Doc of his president of basketball operations title and installing Frank Lawrence and Jerry West to guide the franchise forward, Law would immediately begin to receive contributions from players who might not have seen playing time under Rivers' stewardship. No longer the only voice in the organization, the Clippers would be free of the short-sightedness that accompanies having the long-term plans for the franchise set by a coach whose primary responsibility is to win every day. Challenge to play younger unproven players rather than the Jamal Crawfords of the world, and dividends would begin to come forward with the ascension of Montrezl Harrell and Tobias Harris, 2 lengthy, athletic forwards with the ability to stifle the speedier wings of the league along the perimeter. Add together reasonable contracts for both Avery Bradley and Lou Williams, 2 guards who may never surpass the limitations of their respective games that have served to make them equally frustrating as they are tantalizing, with their retention of draft capital and nearly $70 million in cap space next summer, and it's not inconceivable to imagine a quick road back to prominence for the team. After all, though he may not be Bill Belichick or Greg Popovich, when it comes to the dual responsibilities of coaching and assembling a team, Rivers remains one of the more respected coaches in the league, as well as one who's proved capable of adapting his game plan to the talent on hand, and thus would likely be an asset in any sales pitch to an established star. But beyond the palm trees and lure of Law, the Clips' biggest selling point would undoubtedly be West. Though he may lack the number of rings to win a battle of "I'll show you mine if you show me yours" is with Pat Riley, the logo's role in assembling 3 different championship runs with the Lakers and Warriors has rightly earned him savant status and the instant admiration of players league-wide. For a franchise that was considered the worst in sports for much of its existence, the acquisition of young talent, draft capital, cap space, and the development of an infrastructure to help bring it all together is reason in and of itself to celebrate, despite the loss of its 2 stars. After all, in a league that has come to value process over results, the Clippers have officially gotten with the times.